Dear children, let's continue with our first chapter, the Union Parliament, Part 2. According to the Constitution, the Speaker and the Deputy Speaker are the presiding officers of the Lok Sabha. All the speeches and remarks made by the members are addressed to him or her. He or she is the final interpreter of the Constitution and the rules of procedure within the House. Let's see some of the powers and functions of the Speaker. The Speaker presides over the meeting of the Lok Sabha. He or she also presides over the joint sitting of both the houses of the Parliament. The Speaker adjourns the meeting of the House if the quorum of the House is not fulfilled. He or she decides whether a bill introduced in the House is a money bill or not. The Speaker prepares the agenda of the House. He receives the documents, messages addressed to the House, and all the orders of the House are also executed through him. He communicates the decision of the House to the concerned authorities. He appoints the chairman of all the committees such as Business Advisory Committee, Rules Committee. Now, who are these Business Advisory Committee or the Rules Committee? They are actually the parliamentary committees. Let's see some of the administrative functions. The Speaker appoints the employees of the Lok Sabha Secretariat, determines the service rules for them, and supervises their work. He or she has responsibility for the upkeeping of the records of the proceedings of the House. He or she regulates the admission of visitors and press correspondence to the galleries of the House. Let's see some of the disciplinary functions of the Speaker of the Lok Sabha. The Speaker maintains order and discipline inside the House. The Speaker may even suspend a member whom he finds guilty of violating the discipline of the House. He can also order a member to discontinue his speech or to withdraw if they are unparliamentary and derogatory. He also has a power to order that anything said by a member without his permission is not to be recorded. The member of the House can put questions to the minister. However, the permission of the Speaker is required for the purpose. There are two kinds of parliamentary committees. Standing committee, they are also called as permanent committees, and the other is ad hoc committees. Now, who are the standing committees? The standing committees are elected or appointed periodically, and they work on a regular basis. Ad hoc committees are framed as in need arises, that is, whenever there is a need, at that particular time, a committee will be framed, which is called as ad hoc, and they are dissolved after they complete that particular task assigned to them. Now, standing committees, examples are Public Accounts Committee, Committee on a Public Undertakings, Committee on a Government Assurance, etc. The Speaker is the ex officio chairman of some of the committees of the House. A major part of the business of the House is conducted by these committees. The member of the House enjoys many privileges. The Speaker acts as a guardian of the privileges of the member of the Parliament and the House. Deputy Speaker. The member of the Lok Sabha also elects a Deputy Speaker. He is also chosen amongst the Lok Sabha member. He acts as a presiding officer in the absence of the Speaker. He performs all the duties and responsibilities in the absence of the Speaker. Term 5 years. The Rajya Sabha or the Council of State is the upper chamber of the Union Parliament. It is also called the House of Elders. The framer of our constitution were influenced by the Irish constitution in creating the Rajya Sabha. The purpose of doing so was to give representation to the states, talents, experience and service. At present, the Rajya Sabha represents 28 states and 8 union territories. The representation of the state in the Rajya Sabha is on the basis of population. It represents the Federation of the States of India. It's a permanent house. Term is 6 years. 1/3 of the members retire after every second year. Elections are held for the vacant seat. According to the Constitution, the maximum strength of Rajya Sabha is 250. Out of this, 238 members are the elected representatives of the states and the union territories, and 12 members are nominated by the President from amongst persons who have distinguished themselves in various fields like art, science, literature, etc. These are the qualifications for membership of the Rajya Sabha. The Vice President of India is the ex officio chairman of the Rajya Sabha. As a chairman, he performs all the functions in the Rajya Sabha, which the Speaker does in the Lok Sabha. The Vice President is elected by the members of the two houses of the Parliament. He does not participate in the debates, but he or she is responsible for maintaining the discipline and the decorum in the House. However, in case of a tie, the Vice President, as a chairman of the Rajya Sabha, is entitled to exercise casting a vote. Please go through the powers and functions of the Parliament. Residuary powers. According to the Article 248 of the Constitution of India, provides that the Parliament has exclusive power to make any law with respect to any matter not included in any of the list. That is, not in union list, concurrent list or state list. For example, such power shall include the power of making law, imposing a tax not mentioned in either of those laws. Ordinances. Article 123 of the Constitution enables the President to promulgate an ordinance if neither house of the Parliament is in session. Ordinances are temporary law having an effect of an act. Actually, the Parliament controls the purse of the nation. All items of income and expenditure are decided by the Parliament. It enjoys various financial powers. Money Bill. A money bill can be only introduced in the Lok Sabha. The Rajya Sabha is empowered only to make the recommendations. The Parliament passes the annual financial statement or the union budget. The budget is a statement containing the estimates of the income and expenditure of the Government of India for the financial year, that is from April 1st to 31st March of the following year. The budget is presented in two parts. The railway budget is presented by the Railway Minister and the general budget presented by the Finance Minister. The salaries and the allowances of the members are fixed by the Parliament. The Lok Sabha holds a powerful position regarding financial matters. Money bills can originate only in the Lok Sabha. Imposition of taxes. The Parliament also approves all the proposals of the Union Government to impose taxes. Taxes cannot be imposed without the Parliament's approval. Control over the executive. Further, there are two standing committees of the Parliament, the Public Accounts Committee and the Estimates Committee controls the way the executive spends the funds granted by the legislature. The Council of Ministers remain in the office as long as they enjoy the confidence of the Lok Sabha. If the Lok Sabha expresses a lack of confidence in the Councils of Ministers, it is bound to resign. A no confidence motion cannot be moved without stating the reason. A notice for moving a no confidence motion must be given before the commencement of the sitting of the House. A no confidence motion can be moved only when it is supported by 50 members. Next, cut motion. After the presentation of the budget, that is, after the few days of the presentation, the budget is scrutinized and discussed in detail in both the House of the Parliament. After the discussion, a demand for grant is made by each ministry. The member of the House can make a proposal to reduce the grants to a particular ministry by moving three types of motions. A cut motions, that is, disapproval of the policy cut, which says a cut in the demand by ₹1. Next is economic cut, means which reduces the demand of grants by a specific sum, any particular sum. And third, token cut, which says that the demand be reduced by ₹100. Interpellation and adjournment motion already we have discussed. Judicial functions includes impeachment of the President, removal of the high officials, punishments. What is impeachment of the President? The Constitution has vested in the Parliament the power to remove the President. This procedure is called impeachment. Such motion can be initiated in either House of the Parliament with 2/3 of the members supporting the motion. The electoral functions. The elected members of the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha form one part of the electoral college which elects the president in our country. Both the houses of the Parliament together elects the Vice President of India. The members of the Lok Sabha elect two of their members as the Speaker and the Deputy Speaker. The members of the Rajya Sabha elect their own Deputy Chairman. Amendment of the Constitution. The Constitution is a sacred supreme law of the country. The Parliament is empowered to amend the Constitution without damaging the basic structure. What is this basic structure? Basic structure includes the Democratic Republic, federal setup, secular state. Without damaging this basic structure, amendment can be done. Article 368 deals with the amendment of the Constitution. Most sections of the Constitution can be amended by the Union Parliament by the two-thirds majority of the members present and voting in each house. For example, the amendment for the qualification for the citizenship, creation of a new state, creation or abolition in the states, etc. There are also some special powers of the Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha, which is clearly stated in your textbook. Please read it.